ones, empaths, you lose a lot of people along the way from the narcissistic relationship. You know, you lose friends, you lose family, and this can happen through the course of the relationship, but also after the relationship's ended, you can feel alone. And you can feel like you don't exactly want to talk to anyone about what you experienced. You don't actually know how to rationalize or use vocabulary to express what it is you're actually feeling. And this is both if you've cut the narcissist off or you've been discarded. You know, you actually feel alone with it. And when you speak to people around you, they don't understand either. So you're kind of alone with your feelings. They don't understand. They think it's just a breakup, you know. But also, the narcissist isolated you from these friends and family to begin with during the relationship. You know, when I think back through, it's not just my ex-narcissist, but there's been other narcissists or psychopaths that were involved in my life. And, you know, there was a period of time when there was like 30 of us around. And this narcissist managed to filter out a lot of people that used to be my friends. Where it was just isolated, when it was just me, the narcissist, and another friend. And in that one friend that was left, the narcissist got involved between us as well, and it's kind of isolated me from a lot of people. I have seen the plus side in it. I have seen the benefit in cutting away from people, because a lot of those people that I was around probably had their toxic traits as well, but they're all childhood friends, and they do say you should keep in touch with your childhood friends. But the fact of the matter is, these narcissists got in the way of these relationships. So it's been so long now where I can't exactly talk. Well, I could talk to them, but I just choose not to, you know. A lot's happened. A lot of people don't understand. Maybe this channel is going to be my voice, you know, because people just don't understand, you know. Unless you go through narcissistic abuse yourself, you just don't understand. And this is another way that narcissist isolates you, because people don't understand what you've been through. You can speak to trained therapists, stuff like that. They're not going to understand what it is you went through. And it is a painful experience to go through this narcissistic abuse. But you lose so many people. It's sad to say. The only way we can look at it, right, I believe, is it's happened for a reason. We can try and rekindle these friendships if you like. You can try and rekindle old family associates or friends if you want to, if you have it in the means to. But the way my life's worked out, I'm kind of better off alone. I'm better off than associating with these people, because one thing I will say is, another reason why you lose people, this is more than just the narcissist now, their influence, but it's actually because we awaken. And because we awaken to this narcissistic abuse, we see narcissistic abuse and we see other toxicity in friendship dynamics, in family units, you know. So you might feel like a black sheep in your family, or you might feel like you start to awaken to other things. You see in your friendship circles, they didn't really have your best interests at heart. So I see a lot of these things, even around those original bunch of people that I was around, which the narcissist managed to make them turn away. I have had various conversations with them, and they've said, to be honest, it was like he was groomed by this narcissist. You know, it was more or less like I was groomed by this narcissist friend or psychopath friend. And it made everyone distance themselves from me. But I have seen the benefits of it. There are benefits, but this awakening to the narcissistic abuse, this is another side of it that you've awakened, and you do see this toxicity in friendships and stuff. You do see it. You see it in your families, and this is the levels of why you lose people along the way. You lose so many people. You know, once were your closest friends, and now they're nothing, basically. They're nothing involved in your life. And it's because you've encountered such evil in this world, you know. It literally wakens you up. And then you start awakening to you're an empath. Then you realize that you might have been chosen to have these empathetic skills, right? These empathetic attributes, this loving heart. You were chosen, and you realize, oh, other people don't have this heart, even friends. And you start to realize this. So you awaken more and more. And the longer that I've spent alone, right, it wasn't all by choice, you know. Some was unfortunate circumstance. But I've seen the benefit in the absence of people in my life, right? So realistically, now if I do go back around people, I've recovered enough from the abuse that I've endured to where I'm a whole new person. And when I did see an old friend, he said, you're back to how you used to be. You're back to how you used to be. He did say that to me. So it's taken me a long while, because when I think about it, it was over a course of 12 years, this narcissistic abuse that I've had from various people. And I feel like now I've broken the chains because I haven't fallen into the clutches of someone else. And if I see toxicity, I'm just staying away from toxicity, you know? So I know this video was about you lose people, but sometimes when you do lose people, it's actually because you've elevated and ascended so much. And I'm not saying I'm better than these people. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying my consciousness has advanced to where, you know, even the boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic, right? Even the boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic, if you're in a relationship and you say, I'm going to be boyfriend-girlfriend, that stuff doesn't really have any worth in weight, you know, saying I'm your girlfriend and your boyfriend. It's not really like, you could say, a partnership. Marriage is toxic because of what happens with divorce, you know. It's very complicated, the area of romance, right? And as you awaken, you see this. And I'm learning more and more from experiences from you guys. From the sessions, I'm learning experiences that people are going through. And you even become more alone with that, you know. No longer is that blind love there when you was just aimlessly walking around, you know, in love to someone who didn't even deserve you. And you thought you was in a good position. You know, it's like we just can't get back to that state. You know, I won't get back to that state. So it's a lonely path. You do lose a lot of people, but there is a benefit to it because you learn about the people that you do want in your company, right? There's even people, so-called friends that I've had, realistically, they wasn't good company for me. It wasn't good company, so I've lost that company. And it's the same with the narcissist. We lose some of these people because it's actually a blessing in part of our development. We lose these people as well. So don't worry though. As much as the narcissist did isolate us, it maybe did cause a bit of a disruption between us and our social circles. So then when the relationship ended, we may have struggled in those social circles, right? As much as that's happened, we've also advanced in our awakening to see toxicity in social circles, in families, right? We've seen toxicity, we see toxicity now. So it's a very layered subject about how the narcissist isolates us and stuff. There's various aspects you can go with this. But ultimately, you know, we've experienced for some reason the narcissist coming along, the narcissist knocking us off balance, right? The narcissist isolating us from friends and family, right? But we don't know. We've been given this card and we have to deal with this card that we've been dealt in life, right? So if you can, try and rekindle social circles. But if it's not really a positive environment for you to be around, then you haven't really lost anything in losing that friend or losing that. But if it's a good friend or something like that, then you should keep that connection, you know. I should give the advice to myself as well, because there is a few people that are really good friends and I've let the connectivity slip, right? But I will say that you can advance a lot from spending time alone once you're over the loneliness and you really do some inner work, some inner healing. It's because we've been left in such a distraught state. You know, even when we meet our friends, we don't feel in the same spirit that we once did. That's why I'm saying it took a number of years before my friend said, oh, this is how you used to be. And when he said this is how you used to be, he meant this is how you used to be before the narcissist, right? That's what he meant. How I used to be, because I knew him from school. I should have cleared that up earlier. But we do lose people, right? We lose family, we lose friends for several different reasons. And part of it is our awakening. We see toxicity. But if there is anyone that is a good person or stuff like that, maybe you should reach out to them when the time is right and try and establish contact. And we can't let the narcissist basically allow the narcissist to ruin those relationships that we once had, ultimately. But if these people are toxic or they're not at your level, then maybe just take it as it's just the loss of a person in your life. A person that was in your life, that is no longer in your life. And that's the way it's got to be, you know? Because for me, even if I spoke to these old people, old friends, really, I've really developed a lot by being alone and learning to be alone. I've developed enough to know what I'm worthy of. And I don't feel the same reciprocation from certain people. So it's not in my interest. But there is a couple people that are good. But I'm just saying that, remember, like, this experience was in the whole picture of the narcissistic abuse and everything you went through. It is actually about your awakening and your awakening to this stuff. Because you start to see relationships for what they really are. That's what happens. I'm not saying you're going to be like this when you're first fresh out of a narcissistic abuse cycle. But if you give it some time, all of us heal at different rates. You'll start to see that the relationships aren't stable. All of these relationships that you've had were wonky, You know what I'm saying? They're not straight up. And you see toxicity in the families, you see it everywhere you go, you see it in the street. And it's like you awaken to this new advanced version of yourself, that this is the preparation for you to get love, because ultimately we all desire to find the partner, we desire to reproduce, we have them desires, or even if we have kids already, we desire to meet someone substantial, like of a positive impact in your life to settle down with. So that is in all of our innate desires, right? But what I will not settle for now is anything less than what is a relationship is meant to be. I'm not tolerating no gaslighting. I'm not tolerating no manipulation. I'm not tolerating no abuse. I'm not tolerating any kind of that. If I see any of that, it's gone. You know, my heart, I'm owning myself. People need to earn my trust. You know, I say all this. I've got all these rules, but I still have this fleshy organ called a heart, and it's hard to maintain. It's hard to, you know, I find myself giving my heart to people and it still gets hurt a bit, you know. I still need to learn how to protect my heart more. Right? So even in that aspect, if you master the learning of controlling your heart and controlling your empathy, that's another aspect where you isolate from people as well, because you're able to not go so deep into a relationship, or you got your wits about you. That's what it's about having. You got your wits about you now, and that's what it's about. So just remember, we lose family and friends for various reasons, but all we can do is take the positive from this and look forward to the future and take the healing journey seriously, because I believe it takes an awful long time to fully heal. For me, it's taken an awful long time to fully heal. Other people will heal in different ways. All of us have got different coping mechanisms, but for me, it's been this path of finding purpose, finding meaning, path of self-discovery, and that's been my companion, you know. Having that has been my friend, or that has been my, you know, that's what I've been gaining from doing that, from finding my purpose, from starting a business, from working abroad, finding time for myself, loving myself, looking after myself. So now I know what I deserve, really. I'm at that point when I know what I deserve. And when the time's right, I will move on, you know. But just always be careful. So if you are going through a period of isolation, it's not forever. You will benefit from this. And it's just a season. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can find a link in the description box. And if you'd like a one-to-one session with myself, you can also find the link in the description box. Currently, I've got a secondary channel, a spiritual channel. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.